Hi, so this is the Wanbo Mozart 1 Pro, a fairly compact and stylish projector that offers full HD projection, built-in Android TV and some other neat features, all without completely breaking the bank, coming in at around $400 or a tiny few bit more pounds and euros. So is it any good? Well, yes, but it does depend a bit on your viewing room setup though. At first glance, it's a pretty good looking little device, but not super little, but with a weight of just over 3 kilograms or a little below 7 pounds, it's not something you'd want to chug around all day. However, moving it from room to room is no problem. Design-wise, it's both clean, modern, and surprisingly well put together. I've been testing the blue version, but there's also a lighter color version available. And while it is mostly plastic, it doesn't really feel cheap. Underneath, the projector also has got a fold-out kickstand to tilt the projected image upwards by 7 degrees, which can be useful in case you need to get the projection up a little bit. The optical system is also IP5X rated, meaning that it's sealed against dust, which is good, especially if you move the projector around a lot. The light source is also rated for 30,000 hours, so longevity shouldn't really be an issue there either. Inputs are pretty straightforward. Around the back, we've got one single HDMI port, a USB-A port for things like flash drives, a headphone jack, and the power input for the fairly large power brick. The Mozart 1 Pro also supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.0. Setup is very simple. The projector runs Android TV 11, and if you've ever installed an Android TV, you'll feel right at home. It would have been nice here to have at least Android TV 12 or maybe 13, but at least the news from version to version as well as security updates aren't as extreme here as it is in the phone world, so for the price tag it'll do. One thing that I noticed immediately during this setup here though is that the included remote does suffer from a fair bit of lag, and in the Android TV part of the projector there is a clear pause before something happens on the screen after a button has been pushed, something that unfortunately takes away a bit from using the built-in apps and navigation. It's not rip your hair out terrible, but writing text with the remote is not fun. For some reason, the settings menu of the projector does not suffer from this lag, so I do feel this is probably more of an Android TV software thing or perhaps an underpowered CPU issue thing. Moving on. As for image quality, we have 1080p and 60Hz, which is perfectly fine for casual movie or TV show watching. The projector has got a fairly good autofocus function as well as automatic keystone correction that also works fine. However, for the absolute best results off angle, you usually need to venture in and set your four corners straight. As for sharpness, if you want it to be the best it can be, the projector still 100% needs to be placed facing the projection surface head on. There the image quality is actually fairly sharp, even pretty far out towards the corners. It's not perfect, but for $400 it'll definitely do. Placing the projector off center, it does a fair job of trying to sort the image out, but here you'll never get the sharpness to a really good point all over the whole viewing area, which I wouldn't really have expected either. One feature that does work really nice though is the obstacle detection avoidance one that fairly accurately reduces the projected area to combat any things entering the surface like furnitures, decorations, etc. Picture quality is again fair. The brightness is rated at 900 ANSI lumens, which is decent if the room is completely dark. In this case, the pop-in colors are also fine, as well as the black levels and the contrast level experience too. The projector does offer a few things to tweak for brightness and contrast, etc., but I found that these settings does not really do that much for the actual results, since we would have needed a brighter light source to actually do something dramatic about the image quality. Using a projector screen like this pull-up one from Kingping I've been trying the projector out with definitely also adds to the contrast and color experience. However, I do feel that the Mozart 1 Pro does perform fine on wall surfaces as well, at least on my beige one that I've been using here. For gaming, there is a dedicated PC mode that reduces the input lag. With this turned on, and you do need to turn it on if you're playing games, otherwise they're completely uncontrollable, the Mozart 1 Pro is actually not terrible. I wouldn't recommend it for fast-paced shooters or similar, but driving around in Forza Horizon or doing some tricks in Skate here was actually surprisingly decent. The built-in audio with dual 8-watt speakers and a passive bass radiator is also actually not bad. It's not soundbar good, but more okay, clear and loud than I expected. Same positive experience goes with the fan noise that is absolutely present, but again, there's no problem sitting through a movie or playing a game for a few hours. And while the fan is definitely audible, the noise does fade into the background pretty quickly after a little while. So to try and sum this up, who should buy the Mozart 1 Pro? Well, if you want a projector, for example, your bedroom or for a casual movie night here and there, and you can make the room basically completely dark, the Mozart One Pro does perform okay if you put it together with the price tag. However, if you do want a bit more image quality, and most of all if you want to watch in even slightly brighter conditions, I would recommend saving a bit more money and going for something with much higher rated brightness, as well as perhaps 4K resolution for that extra detail. Still though, for the price, the Mozart One Pro does deliver a fair watching experience, but do be aware of its limitations and use it in the right environment for the best results. Alright, those are my thoughts on the Wanbo Mozart One Pro. Please share any of your thoughts or questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching. Bye!